Today's brief khutbah is going to be involving Surah At-Tur. Allah Azza wa Jal in many surahs describes the scene of Judgment Day. And this is one of those surahs. Its opening describes the scene of Judgment Day. Humanity is coming out of their graves, and now Allah says, فَوَيْلٌ يَوْمَئِذٍ لِلْمُكَذِّبِينَ. And the worst destruction and how terrible things are going to be on that day for people who used to call the truth a lie. You think of da'wah means you're inviting people to the truth. A mukaddib is inviting people to accept that the truth is a lie. They're doing a negative campaign. They're doing a batil campaign. So it's not just that they don't accept it themselves, they try to convince others also that it's untrue. Now, why do people reject the truth? It's not because people are evil. You and I, even though we're Muslim, but within Islam, within your family, somebody comes and tells you something that's true, but if you accept it, your father's not going to like it. Or if you accept it, you might have to quit the business, or you might lose some money, or you might have to pay somebody back. There's a price to pay. So now what do we do with that truth? Nah, that's not true. No, that didn't happen. And now you know deep inside, you know that you're wrong, but to make yourself feel better, you promote that you're the one who's right and the truth is also actually false. This is a way of defending yourself. So that's one description of people on Judgment Day that will not be able to hide what they used to do. وَيْلٌ يَوْمَئِذٍ لِلْمُكَذِّبِينَ. But then Allah gave them a second description. And this is where things get very interesting in the surah. The description here is الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي خَوْضٍ يَلْعَبُونَ. Those who are drowned in, now I won't translate the word yet, they are drowned in khawd. The Arabic word is khawd, and they're playing around. Yal'abun, they're playing around. So let's dig into this word khawd a little bit. Let me explain the origin of this word to you and what we might learn from this word. Ikhtada al-ma is when you dip something in the water. If you put an animal in the water, this is ikhtada. If you're walking in the water and your clothes start getting wet because it's up to your knees, khada fil ma. He's walking in the water. So when you're dipping yourself inside the water. Then they used to use the word mikhwad for, the ladle. Back in the day when they used to serve drinks, they would put this spoon inside the pot and then they would pour the drink. The thing that goes deep inside and you pour it, that's called a mikhwad. And they used to use the word mikhwada for a lu'lu', for a pearl, because you have to go deep inside the water to get it. And this became a figurative use. They started using it for khada fil kalam. When you go into a subject and you keep talking about it and you're like drowned in that subject, like some of you play video games, right? You play online games and you're just always in the game. You're drowned in the game. You're doing khawd in the game. Somebody's into cars. They're always talking about cars. They're always thinking about cars. The background on their phone, the wallpaper is a car, right? They're always watching videos on cars. They're always, looking at updates on. This person is doing khawd in cars. You see, khawd actually means when people are drowned. A good word to understand this nowadays is when people are addicted to something. When they're addicted to something. And this is really interesting because there's even books on this. You should look up a book called The Age of Addiction. This age we live in now, before this age, people used to talk about alcohol addiction, right? Gambling can become an addiction. People that go to gambling, they don't just go once. They go back, they go back, they go back. They lose their house, they lose family, and they can't stop. Drugs can become an addiction. And many of you might already know the social media giants of the world, like Facebook, Instagram. These companies, they went to the top casinos in the world when they were first developing their behavior, because their apps have algorithms to make sure that the users that they have stay on the app. So they don't just want you to turn TikTok on and then turn it off. They want you to turn it on and then swipe again and then swipe again. So they had to study behavior, right? So they actually went to the casino industry and they got the best psychologists, because the casino industry first hired psychologists to make sure that when people sit on that slot machine to get the money out, how do we keep them there? How do we keep them there as long as possible so they can stay more addicted? The same people who engineered the behavior in the casinos and the gambling industry in Las Vegas, were some of the same engineers that modeled the behavior for, social media apps. They were hired by Silicon Valley to do that. Why? Because they know they can get the most out of you if you're the most addicted. If you are in khawd, if you're drowned in, you can't get out. And if you don't do it again, you feel something missing inside you. Somebody who's addicted to alcohol, they drink, they feel like they're done, they go 1 hour, 2 hours later, I gotta have it again. I gotta do it again. Give me another one. Their stomach is hurting, they're still drinking. They're in pain, they're still drinking. They're half asleep, they're still drinking. They wake up, they need a drink immediately. It's the same way with these kinds of other addictions. The addictions that are online, the addiction to entertainment. Some people are addicted to, movies, Netflix, some people are addicted to sports. But these addictions are now the next thing Allah is talking about. When the truth comes, which is what the Quran is actually talking about, you have to deal with reality. You have to take responsibility for your actions. I have to take care of how am I going to spend my day? How am I going to spend my night? I have responsibility to myself. I have a responsibility to Allah. I have a responsibility to my family. I have to take care of all of these things. But if you don't want to accept that truth and you want to escape reality, you can go find yourself lost in one addiction or the other. And you can go inside of a khawd. Even to the point where, what some people do? If they hear a little bit of, you're at a gathering, because Eid, a lot of people had Eid gatherings. They got together, family got together, they're sitting and talking. And somebody brought something up about Allah's deen. And you'll notice some people in the family, immediately they change the subject and they want to do khawd in a different subject immediately. And they want to talk about it. And they're, oh, no, what about that UFC fight? What about this game? What about this movie? Oh my God, that was amazing. And they want to keep talking about it. And if they do talk about the deen, they talk about the deen as a joke. It's like it's something funny to talk about, And even then, Allah even describes, حَتَّى يَفُوضُوا فِي حَدِيثٍ غَيْرِهِ. Don't talk to them when they're talking about shirk until they go and start diving into some other subject. They want to get immersed in this and this and this. Now you and I have to ask ourselves, this is not a criticism of humanity. It's just you and me have to think about ourselves. Whatever I'm diving into every day, does it have a purpose or is it just me playing around? That's the real question I have to ask myself. Judgment Day, Allah says, وَيْلٌ يَوْمَئِذٍ لِلْمُكَذِّبِينَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي خَوْضٍ يَلْعَبُونَ. They were drowned in things and they kept playing around. And every time the Quran was being called to, the truth was being called to, responsibility, because Judgment Day is all about responsibility, isn't it? That's all it is. Judgment Day is court. And what happens in a court? The judge tells you, you are responsible for what you did. That's all it is. You have to present yourself in court. And anybody who knows they have a court date coming and they have a trial coming, they'll get ready for the trial. That's what happens in this life. It's the same logic for Judgment Day. But someone who's not getting ready for the trial and they're playing and they're too addicted to their games, right? Then they're going to be in big trouble on that day. And somebody says, hey, the trial date is tomorrow. The trial is next week. Come on, let's go. Get ready. You're not ready. You didn't finish your work. It's going to be held against you. Get out of here, man. Let me play. That's not true. These people are so extreme. They're so extreme. They're so negative. Let me just live my life. There used to be a time where people, philosophers were talking about capitalism and communism. Atheism came. Now we're in a new world. We're in emotivism. Your emotions are the new religion. Let me just feel good, man. I just want to feel good. Let me just live in my feelings, And this is actually the description that Allah is giving of these people on Judgment Day when He says, الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي خَوْضٍ يَلْعَبُونَ. And when someone's drowned in something, they're not moving, they're stuck, they're in the same place. When you find people that have an addiction, you meet them last year, they were exactly the same place. You meet them next year, they're exactly in the same place. Like the world changed, but they're exactly in the same place. You know what? When people don't move, then Allah will make them move. So He says, وَالَّذِينَ يَوْمَ يُدَعُونَ إِلَى نَارِ جَهَنَّمَ دَعَى. They'll be pushed towards the fire of hell. They're going to be pushed because they're not moving themselves. They don't want to go. هذه النار التي كنتم بها تكذبون. This is the fire that you were calling a lie. أفسحر هذا? Is this magic? أو أنتم لا تبصرون, or you can't see? Because you say, oh, I don't see any fire. When you used to say, hey, astaghfirullah, don't do that. You should be afraid of Allah. You should be afraid of judgment. Oh yeah? Oh, I should be afraid of fire? I don't see any smoke. I don't see the temperature increasing. Where's the fire? Allah says, oh, is this a lie too? When judgment day comes? أم أنتم لا تبصرون, or you don't see it. اصلوها فاصبروا ولا تصبروا سواء عليكم إنما تجزون ما كنتم تعملون. Now go enjoy it. Go inside it. You want to be patient now, or you don't want to be patient now? It doesn't matter anymore. Now it's of no value. Now your sabr is of no value. Now I want to wrap this khutbah up on the flip side, on the other side of this equation. Is what Allah says is going to be the people that are not in trouble on Judgment Day. Allah says, إِنَّ الْمُتَّقِينَ فِي جَنَّاتٍ وَنَعِيمٍ. That's all He says. People that protect, the people of taqwa are in Jannah and they're relaxed. That's what He says. And the rest of the ayat are a description of Jannah, which may be for another time.